So right before we jumped off, we were going to talk about PWAs. I was just going to ask you if you
Yeah,
had a
so
hot
like
take on something. So let's
yeah,
talk
so
about that.
like I think one of the things that we can start looking into as developers is start looking at PWAs, and the reason I'm interested for a couple of things. Um, Backlash against the store is the one thing you see going on with like companies like Fortnite. Um, right, wrong, or indifferent, they sign the agreement and whatever.
Yeah.
But like you build a billion dollar app and they suddenly get 30% of it, it doesn't feel as good. And so like now, also you have to, if you want to just make a simple app and you want to stick it in the Apple Store, there is a process and they approve it and they just basically can hold you. So I think that's one thing where you're seeing people are saying, well, if I want to make my businessy app and I don't want to use the store, then I can create that using a PWA. Now, a PWA is really what was called a progressive web app. It's built with in the past things like JavaScript, and you can install it on your device. You can push it to your homepage on your device. It runs in a mobile platform. It has like offline capabilities, those kind of things that you expect from a native app. But it wasn't until Blazor came around that now suddenly you can start making it a lot faster than it was before. And that's another thing with Blazor and these that you can make PWAs with Blazor, and then you can get the performance that you want out of it. The other thing that I think you're seeing is a lot of companies are going over to this. You asked the question right away, like, who's
Yeah, I
using
did.
PWAs, man? Does anybody build
Exactly.
one?
So I was like,
Yeah,
do I even use these things? Do I even know what these things are? I didn't really. I was like, how is it different and what does it do? So we looked up something real quick and we found this, which
yeah.
gives us a good structure of what it is. But the first one that came up when we looked up like popular PWAs,
Starbucks, Twitter,
Starbucks.
most banks, most news sites are PWAs at this point. So like Washington Post, Fox News, all of them have have a PWA site, depending on where you go. I'm not sure about CNN and those other ones, but I would imagine they're mostly going there as well.
Right.
So it's mobile friendly. Obviously, it works well on mobile. So a responsive website does that well too. So you can build a responsive website with something like
Yep.
Bootstrap, a native app. Obviously, you can do that. Is it installable? Your responsive website is not. You can bookmark it in your browser, but this can be an icon on your screen. A progressive website does that.
Yep.
Here's interesting SEO indexing. So like the progressive web app is a website,
Yeah.
so it can show up in search.
So it has better over a native
So,
app in that respect.
yeah, right.
Which is cool.
You still have your offline mode that you do as a native app and a progressive web app. You still have that.
Yep.
Push notifications, things that you want to push content to it. You still can do that. Push it to the phone, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
You have a lot of the features on the phone, like the GPS, Bluetooth, things like that. Though I will say that increasingly, and you probably know this, Kevin, is that Apple may limit that in PWAs going forward because they want you in that sweet store.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, it takes the best of sort of a native app and a responsive website, and sort of you get the best of both.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of cool. But I agree that even though they're becoming more popular, I do think Apple and Google between them are gonna think about like where do we fit into this, because we're bypassing the store, and they're not gonna like it. I'm sure.
No. So for some apps, it won't matter. So like if you're just a news site or something like that, it's not going to matter. You're just building a web page, and now it's installable on the phone.
And yes, yeah, that's
No
my point.
fees.
No App Store fees. But
No fees,
and
baby.
that's why Apple and Google are going to push back on this somehow. I don't know
Yeah.
how or whatever it is, but clearly they're making billions of dollars over apps through the store. Obviously, they are.
Right.
So it's gonna
And to be
kind of
fair,
interesting.
not everything can be a PWA. So like I don't think you can recreate Fortnite currently as a PWA and give it the same kind of experience that you have in that. But you obviously can make Twitter. You obviously can make Starbucks. You can definitely order your coffee through a PWA. So there's a lot you can do. And I just think that is one of the hot takes for 2021 is PWA development. So there's a lot of tools and things out there that you can use. Blazor being one of them. There's a lot of other things too. So there's a lot that you can. So just think about it.
So Maverick is saying React Native and Flutter allows you to make mobile apps and web apps. So you get both. Is that just a deployment option then? That's how that works?
Yeah. So like in that. So, and then, so this is where we've been talking about this for a while, where this is all going. So, like when you look at, and we're going to make a video about this later today, Kevin, when you look at what .NET's doing, and so like now with .NET, what's called .NET 6 or .NET MAUI, they're reworking the Xamarin framework where they're blending what is mobile and what is web and what's a PWA, what's a desktop, and they're trying to like, you write your code and you push it to where you want it to do. So like, I think that's going to become a reality this year as well, but specifically in the .NET realm, where you can build a desktop app, you can build a mobile app, you can build a web app, you can build a PWA, all with the same tooling. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool. Interesting.
While we're talking about these things, React Native will do the same thing.
If you do have questions, throw them in chat. We'll get to those here in a second. We talked about just a couple of things here up front. So yeah, PWA is very interesting. Yeah.
So since Mavericks here, do we have any memes since Mavericks here?
I don't know. Let me look.
I thought we didn't look at those before our pre-production meeting.
Let me look. No, I didn't. There was one that I actually saw. Where did I see this?
I made a meme. I made one.
Yeah, you did. Did we show that one already? I thought we showed that one.
Maybe we did. I don't know. I put it on Twitter, but like.
Did we not? I don't know. We're gonna play it anyway. Here we go. Just because Maverick's here, we'll do the memes.
Just for you, Maverick.
Here we go. This is the one that you made and put up on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. A little Photoshop action. So dread it, run from it, CSML, HTML, rise all the same. And that was like a lot of people on the internet were talking about like, don't look down on HTML. It's a gatekeeper mentality or whatever. And everyone says this, and I was like, well, try building a website without it. It's kind of essential. No matter what you do, you're going to need HTML and CSS to build a website. So,
okay. Yep.
It's kind of cool.
It's right. It is weird that people do look down on it. It's this whole like argument about it being
is it programming or not?
Programming language, isn't it? So like, oh man, let's just not. Why are we arguing over the semantics here? Like, I don't know. Hey, look, Alex is asking if you're on Clubhouse with a brand new logo. Look, Alex coming in with the brand new branding.
Oh, look at that, man! Tech Rally.
There you go. I like it.
I didn't even recognize it.
Very, very pro. I know we don't know who you are now. Who's this guy? I don't know who this guy is. I don't know this guy.
Rocking the new logo.
No, the reason he's not, you know why? He doesn't have an iPhone. Missing out. I told him this already. No, so I've been on Clubhouse and I've been telling Bobby about this for the last like 3 days in a row now, which I got my invite from Alex. Thank you so much, Alex, for the invite. So I've been on there. I've been doing, to be honest, I've been in a whole bunch of YouTube stuff, really. I did do one quick chat on my first night with Alex about bootcamp stuff. But I've been looking at, I've been joining some YouTube stuff. Super cool place. Anybody else is on Clubhouse, look me up on there. Same name as Kevin Doyle.
And it has to be on an iOS. It can't be on a MacBook. Yeah,
it's got to be on. It's got to have a phone number attached to an iOS device. So I think you can do it on an iPad. But I think you've got to have a phone number anyway attached to that anyway. So it's like you got to have a phone number. You got to sign up on an iPhone, I believe.
It's so weird.
Yep.
Why they didn't put it on Android? That's so weird.
I don't know. They're working on an Android app. I do know that. So it's coming, but it's early days as far as I can tell.
Should have built that thing in Xamarin, then they would have been ready to go.
Yeah, right. Alex is looking to big.
No iPhone. Have to get a car loan to get one. So,
oh, that's
of course, it's not like Samsungs are cheap either. So,
well, no, they're not. They're definitely not. Definitely not. So, yes, I see. Yes, Maverick, follow me on there, and I'll follow you back on Clubhouse. We can chat on there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Let's see. MSV's back. We haven't seen MSV in a while, have we? You've been away too, right?
I don't have a smartwatch, man. I don't have one.
Yeah, that's something that you haven't done yet, isn't it? But you would have the Galaxy.
No, I haven't done that either. So, like, I'm just kind of like...
Which is interesting because you're doing more fitness stuff, though. So they're basically a fitness tracker on steroids, no pun intended.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they are. They're a fitness tracker with a whole bunch of extra stuff. And the new Apple Watches let you do... but again, you got to have an iPhone for the watch, so it's like, it's not going to... But they do, oxygen levels and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So again, throw your questions in chat. I will pull them up here in a second when we get to them. One other thing, we didn't talk about this right before the thing, but I I was just getting ready to talk about this when I thought you'd dropped off before. But I was going to talk about this story that I saw, which was about the Cyberpunk 2077 studio getting hacked. And
Wow.
this stuck out to me. Like, the first thing I was like, oh no, data leak threatened. I was like, what are they going to do? Like, ruin my game save or something and share how terribly I did in the game? Because I didn't like the game. I thought it was. I didn't really play it a whole bunch. I bought it and then never really played it. I thought it was a terrible game. But no, they're actually talking about releasing source code for Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. So I don't really care.
Dang, that sucks.
But yeah, it's a big thing to get hacked, I guess. But as soon as you're popular, you're a target, right? So
yeah,
I guess they gotta kind of expect it. Yeah. So let me. Yeah.
So big news. In March or this month, in February 24th, I'll be at at a meetup in Memphis. So throwing some .NET knowledge around. So follow me on Twitter, and you'll see that announcement's coming back. I think it's a Danny Thompson event. So
yep, and we'll tweet that stuff out.
Now.
We'll tweet that stuff out on Twitter. Yeah, we'll put those links out there too. We'll talk about it closer to the date as well. We'll probably put a link up here at some point to talk about that. So yeah, you're doing like a C# thing.
C# crash course, and I think I have 45 minutes. So it's gonna be hard.
It'll be.
I'm
great.
definitely losing. Definitely looking blurry on my end. I don't know. Sure
it is. No, the bandwidth is just bad today. I don't know what's going on with it. Let's see on my end. Yeah, I'm getting a terrible 320p signal coming in. It's probably the internet on my end, to be fair, because it did crash before. So that would be my guess. So sorry. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's it might go down to a 150p in a minute here. But you can still hear us, even if it is.
Okay, you can still hear us.
Even if it is 8-bit, Bobby. That's the.
Pixelated. I'm like 8-bit art now.
Exactly. It's
just, Minecraft art.
There you go. It's Minecraft, Bobby. That's it. It's Minecraft, Bobby. I like it. Let's do some questions here then. If you do have them, throw them in chat, and we'll get to them here. So, Mohammed wants to know, how important are algorithms when it comes to web development?
So for actually building a website, and when you're comparing those to things that you study on like leak code, not so much. What's more important is knowing how to put websites together. Data access, how do I access the database with whatever stack you're using? So that'd be your ORM. So in the case of .NET, ASP.NET, how do I hit a database? If I'm using MVC, what's the pattern? If I'm using React and Node and all this, the tooling in the stack is way more important to building the website and being proficient in that than it is to just learning an algorithm. So I would say, Mohammed, try to build a project and then find out how many those algorithmy type things you use to build it. That'll tell you.
Right.
So
yeah, you might find that come the job interview, you maybe need some of those algorithm things, because they may ask you some of those questions, and probably it seems to be a common thing. When you're building something, you may never use it.
Yeah, in other words, like the algorithms are to teach. Really, it's all about logic. Can you solve a problem? Can you think through things? But your day-to-day stuff will be, hitting a database, saving it, building activity on the front ends, the views, and that kind of stuff. All right, cool. Right. Hope that helps.
Okay. Let me see. Fury Papa, thank you for the question. Thank you for hanging out with us as usual. Blazor framework is difficult. Oh, Blazor is okay. Is Blazor framework more difficult to learn than Angular, or is it like React?
I don't think it's any harder to learn anything else. I mean, most of it's built around components. So you're building components. So if you're using React components, I think it's similar in that regard. So I don't think it's any harder to learn than anything else. So you just got to know how they do their things, and look code C# in the browser.
Is there new syntax with Blazor? Is it like a way of, or is it just more of a logic, more of an organizational thing? Okay.
It's an organizational thing. So like those kind of things. So but I don't think it's anything really that new, other than components. If you haven't done that, there's a component part of it that could be new, but that's not difficult.
Okay. Okay. Joe Richardson, thank you for the question. He said you were just finishing up university doing game development. Awesome. 3 years C# under me. Any advice on transitioning to .NET?
You should be already there, man. What are you using? So C#, maybe you're using Mono Develop or you're using Unity.
Probably Unity, right?
So
that'd be the normal.
So if you want to build websites, then you need to be ASP.NET. If you want to build desktop, you need to look at WPF. If you're doing games, then Unity is your jam. You're probably already there doing that. So the framework will just ride along with the type of workload that you're building. So
at that point too, if you're doing game development, you maybe haven't learned or picked up like HTML, CSS though too, right? Maybe.
No, you haven't learned that much. If that's all you've done, no.
So that's probably where you need to start then, is those, and then JavaScript, and that with your C# should be able to go.
But hopefully you can use that game development, break into a game company. So build a game and ship it.
Right.
Some on Steam.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Yeah, don't give up on the game.
Sign me and Kevin up for the beta program. We'll play it out.
I'm totally in for beta-ing games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ryan, thank you for the question. He wants to know what year in college should a computer science student start applying for jobs? Good question.
I think it's going to be after you graduate. So get the degree, focus on that. You could go back to school part-time, I guess, if you can get a job. So I think once you start building projects, you can start applying. Depends on how much time you want to devote to your degree. So, but if money's an issue, start applying. Once you can build a project, start showing it to people and get a job, and then go back to school part-time.
Yeah, I think that's the answer, right? Once you can build a project and have a portfolio, that's when you can actually start applying. It's not really a point in time in your college career. Because, if you can get a job, you could drop out technically and then go back and get the company to pay for you to go back and finish your degree. You could do that too. Because ultimately, you're going to get the same job.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Devante. Oh, cool. Devante says, hey guys, I've following Code of Fantasy advice for 6 months. I was able to get my first job as a junior Java dev. That's awesome. Congrats,
All right.
Devante.
Awesome, man. Good job.
Is there anything I can do leading up to my start day next week to be better prepped?
Nah, you've got the job now, man. Like, you've got it now. So, like, just know that you show up on time the first day. Learn all you can. The other advice I would say is ask questions. Don't sit on a problem if you don't know how to solve it for a couple of weeks. Make sure that you engage with the team. And then just be committed to your craft every day. Try to add value, and fix some bugs, man. Make some money. I like it. Good job.
Yeah. Be the guy who keeps asking them for stuff. Like for new stuff to do. Be that guy. Be the guy who just like does the bare minimum. If you're that guy, you'll get known real quick and be like, oh yeah, I know. That's, Devante can do that. Let's give him that. And you'll get extra responsibility. That goes for any job, really. Be the guy who asks for stuff. Yeah, very, very cool. And that's awesome. Congrats, Devante. That's very, very cool.
Good job, man. Awesome.
These are my best comments. This is my most favorite comments when someone comes back and says that. It's awesome. Let's see. Maverick has a question. Also, if he's building a messaging service, what database should he use?
What one do you know how to use? So I don't really care which one you use.
Yeah, does it matter? Something like that? I mean, until you get to a point where you're dealing with unless you're making something for a bank or something with massive, massive amounts of record, does it really matter?
No, it's going to be SQL, and then the messaging service is the part you need to focus in on using something like SignalR or whatever you're doing. So I think you can use SQL.
Yeah, or whatever you know.
So if you want to use a real-time database, there's some out there too, I
think Maverick was talking about Firebase before, right? I think.
Yeah, so where the updates, that's pushing it out, or you can write the service. But since he said I'm building a service, then the database is the backend store. So
Okay. Good question. Oblik wants to know, and I hope I got your name right. My pronunciation could be wrong. I apologize if it is. Wants to know. Thank you for the question. Wants to know if you were today deciding to learn React, Vue, or Angular, which one would you choose?
Loving that straw man argument. So like, have to pick between these three, you know.
Yep. Yep. You gotta choose one of those three. Is there one outside of those three?
So like, I don't, you know, probably Vue. That's probably what I would do. That's probably what I do because I think that's what I want to. That's probably what I would do. But I would look at React too. If I had to pick, it'd be between React and Vue. It wouldn't be Angular.
Why not Angular? What's the downside?
I don't know. I just didn't like Angular 1, and then I had a bad taste in my mouth. And
okay.
So there's no real reason. I mean, like they all probably work.
But that's
good,
the thing.
So.
Yeah, you can have a personal preference in this thing. You can have a choice.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, is there a wrong answer there? Probably not.
I don't think so. Well, I mean, if all you know is React and all you know is Angular and all you know is Vue, then React and Angular is a better choice for you getting a job. But I'm thinking in the terms of if I want to create a front end to my web APIs I've written in C#, I'm going to pick Vue for that. I think it's lighter weight, easier to do. Okay. So that's kind of what I would do.
Okay, cool. Let's see, what's Ben say? Ben says he asked his company to invest money in learning materials. They're all over it. You don't ask, they don't know.
Okay, cool.
Yep, that's true. That's true. And it is like when you're just breaking into this, it's like you still have a massive amount to learn, right? As a junior dev. So if the company's willing to invest in some learning materials to help you to continue to learn, yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe that's a Pluralsight subscription, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, cool.
Matthew, thank you for the question. What is a good beginner's program to try to make in Java? I have some school experience, but I'd like to jump into a project. You have the right instinct, Matthew.
I think it's the bug tracker, man. I mean, like, I think we teach beginners the bug tracker all the time here. So, like, I think that's a good program. It basically has database access. It's got security, roles, and authentication, authorization. It solves a business problem. You know, that's kind of what it does. I mean, like, it hits all the things.
Yeah, we have a.
But if you feel like that's too hard, then tackle an address book. And then do those things in address book, store some addresses in a database, and then bump it up to the bug tracker after you get that under your belt.
Yep. If you go on YouTube, go on our channel, look for our most popular video, or just go on YouTube and search for coding project. We should be the top video in that search. It's the one coding project guaranteed to get you a job. That's the video. Go check that out.
Just give us a follow.
And follow while you're there. That'd be great.
Yeah, give us a sub, Matthew.
Back to the previous question. Let me see here. Ben recommends Svelte. Svelte before.
Okay. I haven't looked a lot into it yet, so like I'll check it out.
Yeah, not heard of that one. There was another thing here.
There's so much stuff to look into.
There is. N17 here says, having learned Angular and now learning Vue, I have to say my love for Angular is growing because of its completeness.
That's true. I mean, you're right.
Does more,
I mean, like,
right?
it's a full thing. I mean, Angular's a full thing.
Right.
So.
And Vue's not a full thing. Wrong with that. Right.
If you just wanted Vue for your front ends, then that's where Vue's more modular, I guess.
Okay.
So, and you wanted to do your back end, say an API, web API, which you can do in Angular, you can. So, I mean, but Angular is like buying into a whole kind of ecosystem, you know, controllers and, you know, whatever they're called, routes or whatever they're called now.
Yep. Okay, and N17 here also says, and this is the best point out of this, bottom line is learn what will get you a job. If you're trying to break in, yes, that is the that is the only
If you're trying
answer.
to break in, man, we just learn what gets you a job, and like, you know, don't get into an argument about its HTML programming language. I mean, like, just learn it and just, you know, I mean, like, learn something and apply it in the marketplace and get a job. Yep. And then you can figure out where you want to branch out and, you know, do stuff like that. So I love that advice in C17.
Here's another one. Hey guys, I finally got a job offer. Thanks for the tips. Awesome.
Nice, Philip.
Congratulations, Philip. That's super good. That's 2 people today
I'm glad we could help.
coming here with new jobs. I love it. My favorite.
Yeah. 2021 is the year of getting a job. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're getting back to some sense of normalcy, right? I see those COVID figures starting to come down. I don't want to jinx it, but I saw on the news this morning they're heading the right way. So just
going down, man.
Let's get past this thing. Ryan Campbell, thank you for joining us from Jamaica. I'm
hey,
jealous.
Man, thanks. What's up?
I'm jealous. I'm in cold North Carolina and you're in Jamaica.
What's the weather in Jamaica today? Tell us, Ryan. Give us a little weather report.
Yeah.
Add it in there.
Actually, Ryan, if it's really nice, don't, because I'm just gonna get sad about it. but Ryan does have a question too, though. He says, having learned the basics of C#, what would you recommend as my next step?
So the next thing is start building something. So like I was telling the other guy, build a project next. So you've learned the basics of C#, and I'm assuming the basics, you mean maybe you're doing console apps. I don't know what you're doing. So now you got to figure out, what do I want to build? Do I want to build a Windows desktop app, or do I want to build a web app, or I want to build a mobile app? All of those are different endeavors. So pick one of those. My advice is, if you had to pick one of those 3 and you don't know which one to pick web, and then start learning the things that are necessary to build web apps in .NET with C#. So that's ASP.NET. Start learning how to do that. Build a simple project like an address book or to-do list or something like that, and then step it up into the bug tracker as you learn the things about security, database access, and that kind of stuff. So start small and grow it up as you go. Hope that helps out, Ryan.
Yeah, and look, it's absolutely lovely.
It's lovely. That's not a weather report, Ryan. Give us
I don't know.
Is it 74
I guess it is.
And blue sky?
Isn't it always that way in Jamaica? I don't know. It's always nice weather, isn't it?
It's the same day every day.
Exactly. It's the same day every day. I do have some more questions, but also I want to say hey to Wahiri, and I hope I pronounced your name correct, Wahiri. So hey from Kenya. That's cool. Thank you for joining us.
Hey man, what's up? Thanks for coming in.
Let's see. What's the next question here? Oh, not a question, but yes, Maverick, I did see this. Do you see this too? I'm going to talk about this actually. Tesla's accepting Bitcoin as payment.
They invested 1.5 billion in
nuts, right?
Bitcoin.
Nuts.
And it went up to 42,000 per coin.
Of course it did.
When I looked this morning.
Of course. Like, you just got one of the most, the richest man in the world investing through his company in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
They're saying now, like, I watched, not to go all stock Ram. Sorry, Ram. Sorry. But like, you're saying a lot of these, it's not GameStop, which is in the toilet. But like, the investing in Bitcoin isn't like this thing. These large companies have lots of cash on the sideline. And, Elon Musk and I forget the other company have both made sizable investments into Bitcoin as a way to get a rate of return on their money. So they see it as stabilizing. I mean, what can you say? He moved the market with it. Now if they sell their 1.5 billion of Bitcoin next week, they can also tank it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's not the goal, is it? I'm actually bleeding through on your microphone too, by the way. If you can.
What's that?
I'm bleeding through on your microphone.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm coming through. I must be on your speakers, not on your headset.
Yeah, I can put the headset on. We're having all kinds of problems today.
I don't know why. Yeah, I've not heard that before, and all of a sudden today it's like bleeding through. And I'm sure everybody else can hear that too. I don't know why. But yeah, it's a big deal for Tesla to make that like massive like investment in that. And I think, what did it say here? I don't think you're too late for this, Paul. This is going to be a thing that just keeps going. I think it's not too late to buy Bitcoin. People said this when it reached like 12,000. They're like, "Oh, too late to buy Bitcoin." Like, yeah, look where it's gone now. I think it's an ever growing market, and it's going to be an interesting market continuing forward. And I think it keeps going on. And I'm not buying Dogecoin. Bobby and I have talked about this off stream. Because you were kind of bullish on Dogecoin, right?
I'm not bullish on it. I'm just.
But you didn't think it was a bad idea, like?
No, I don't.
I don't know. I'm not all in on Dogecoin at this point, but Bitcoin for sure. Yeah. I think it's going to be a big thing continuing to move forward. I think it continues to go up. Let me see. We had some more questions here.
Someone on the headset now. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's not normally a problem with this tool. I don't know why it is today.
Mm-hmm.
We can normally run the speakers and it's not an issue. It's just today. It's just we're having all the problems.
Dogecoin. Here's what I think about Dogecoin. The reason you buy it is because it's cheap. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and so like your loss is limited down to zero. So if you're in like 3 cents a coin,
that's literally what Maverick
it doesn't
says.
cost $1, Maverick. It's 3 cents. If it was $1, like everyone's.
I don't know where it's at today. It's been going up though, right?
It's been fluctuating. I think it's went at 8 cents, maybe 7 cents. It may be around 6 or whatever. I'm not a stock trader. I'm not in Dogecoin either. So, but if I was investing $200, I would put it in Dogecoin because if it does go to $1 over the next 5 years, that's a pretty good rate of return.
It is. I wouldn't invest tens of thousands in it.
Not Tesla's $1.5 billion. I mean,
exactly.
They're not doing that.
Maybe hundreds. Yeah, maybe hundreds. And Diane, I think Ethereum's the same kind of thing. I think. Well, it's not the same kind of thing as Dogecoin. It's more like Bitcoin.
It's more like Bitcoin. It was 1762 this morning, so like it's pretty high.
It's a trusted market leader. I think you're good with that.
Yeah.
For me, my kind of take on cryptocurrency is if it's traded on Coinbase, like I'm kind of okay with it. Or it's traded on one of the bigger sort of places and you can buy it on the bigger platforms, I'm more likely to go with it. It's a little bit more trusted because there are a lot. I mean, we could literally start a CF coin today if we wanted to. Like, there's very little regulation in this space. So
CF coin. I want a meme coin with my face on it.
We can totally make one. We can totally make one. You guys can you can super chat us with CF coin on here. That's the future. Hey, come back in 5 years. Maybe we're doing that. Who knows?
CF coin.
Who knows? CF. Okay, let's get to some more questions here. Oh, just one thing before it's not a question, but look, Tech Rally. Did you see his latest video? I watched his latest video yesterday.
He said he quit his job.
Look, so he's fun employed. he's just surfing YouTube streams.
I didn't see his video, so I'm just curious what happened.
So he has a new job, and he's going to do another video on the new job. So that's very cool. Congratulations on the new job, Alex.
Okay, so he quit one job and went to another one. So that's good.
Yeah, so that's cool.
All right,
I think he just quit to lay around on the couch and watch us on YouTube. That wouldn't be
watch Coder Founder YouTube.
No, I think Alex is a man with a plan. So he knows what he's doing.
I think he does.
So yes, he went from one job to another. But his video, he mentioned being at the company for 5 years, which and he says this too. In terms of being a developer, that is a long time to stay at a company. Mm-hmm. It is. So yes, maybe it is a time to move on. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to give us the details on the other job in a new video. So I'm waiting for that video to drop. That's interesting.
All right, cool.
See what you're going to be doing. Coding after 30, Paul says we should do a resume review. Yeah, maybe we'll do this at some point because we do have some hot takes on resumes. We see a lot. We see a lot of students. We rewrite a lot of resumes. We make them.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I personally do a lot of work on that stuff, so I do get to see a lot of that stuff. I have a lot of hot takes on resumes. So yeah, maybe that's something we'll look at. Paul. Thanks for the idea. Let's see. Marco says he's building a .NET issue tracker. And I'm using Identity for his users, regular business models for my projects, and tickets. Do you guys use Identity for user management, or do you do it all in Entity?
We use Identity for user management, and we're using Entity Framework. 100%. We're using both. Entity Framework's your access to the database. Identity is how authorization, authentication is presented through it. So we use both. Definitely. It's people are sleeping on Identity a lot of times when they don't realize, how do I secure my app? What do I do? And then when you use .NET, people are just amazed, like it comes out of the box, kind of built out for you.
Right.
So, and we extend inside of Bootcamp, we extend Identity to the specific features of, say, a bug tracker or a blog site or something else. So we do that quite a bit. So that's kind of what we do. Yes, you're on the right track, Marco. Keep doing it.
Cool. Hey, look, Mohammed just said hey, so I just wanted to say hey, Mohammed. Thanks for.
What's up? Hey. Look at that profile pic. He's just looking cool there, man.
I know
He looks like
a
a rock
slick
star.
pick. I like it. That is a rock star
I
pick.
mean,
I need a rock star pick
that's a
for
rock
mine.
star pick.
I like,
That is a rock star pick right there, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
Clickbait Nate, I like the name. Switched to the content moderator using Python GUI tool for my team and realized I like doing better than. Oh, I like doing that better than my actual job. Cool. What should I do next to get a job in programming? Interesting. A lot of people seem to find this path. They're doing one thing and they kind of get pulled in with this like, oh yeah, I like doing that. Sometimes it's at like a bank and you're using SQL to write statements or like write SQL statements to pull data or something. Like, actually, I like this. It's not an uncommon path.
So the next thing you do is pursue web development, and then you pursue web development. You need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript as the start, and then a server-side language like C# or Java or JavaScript on the back end using Node. And then you can, from there, you go into something like React or some kind of front-end framework to build them out with. So the reason we like ASP.NET is that all that is under one roof.
But if it's already using Python, you can use that, right?
You can use Python if you want to. It's primarily used in data science realm, though. So if you want to do the data science type things, but you can use Python to build things.
It's something that he already knows. If he could push on like HTML and CSS and the web stuff, and then use Python, but then maybe switch that later on if he decides to.
Yeah,
kind of makes it a little bit easier of a learning curve.
Right. Mm-hmm. So build a project and show it to somebody. Clickbait. And hopefully you can get a job, or maybe you move up into the company that you're in.
Yeah, try pitching it. Try pitching it internally. Yeah, just say like, hey, I'm kind of doing this on the side. I've been learning to code, and I made this thing. You never know. You might be able to just switch positions in the company that you're already in. Okay, question from Ben Mulford. Thank you for the question, Ben. Says, I've been at my first dev job for 2.5 years at a small company using .NET and Angular. Also a second career. It was a career switcher. I'm tempted to move on for more money and to vary my experience. What's important to consider?
I think money's a good reason to move. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm more of a capitalist, and that goes so like I can get paid more. And then what are you going to be working on is the other kind of thing to a lesser extent. Like, what are the types of projects are you interested in? What they're doing. But definitely varying your experience does help you in this world. The more types of things, the more types of problems you can solve, the better you are. So, I can't speak if it's time for a move, but hey, if you need more money, that's good as reason as any. Call a recruiter with 2.5 years of development with .NET and Angular. You should have a job pretty quickly. I think it shouldn't be hard for you to find another role.
Yeah, that 2.5 years experience is gonna look good for you.
Yeah, just know your asking price going out. They're all going to ask you, what do you want to make, and just put it out there. So,
Yeah, and you can look that up too. You can research that. There's places on the internet you can figure out like what your actual worth is.
Yeah. Hope that helps, Ben. Good luck.
Hey, Marco, thank you for joining us and thank you for the question. It says, any suggestions on how to learn to be a web developer with Blazor? Any courses?
Yeah, there's some stuff out there. Pluralsight has some stuff. So it's not as robust as it needs to be. But there's books and stuff out there. Microsoft obviously has stuff out there that you can get started. So there's two flavors of Blazor. So know that there's a server-side Blazor and then there's a client-side Blazor. The one I'm most interested in is client-side Blazor. So there's a lot of intro stuff on Microsoft's site getting started with Blazor. You're going to see Microsoft push Blazor ahead of traditional ASP.NET this year, and they're going to really go full bore into pushing Blazor as their first-class citizen for building websites. So more and more things will come out this year for sure. But right now, there's plenty of books out there. There's plenty of courses to get you started.
I also know as a resource too, Chris Sanity has a book coming out.
Yeah.
So you can go search for him, look for his Twitter or his profile over. It's Sanity is his last name. We had him on the show before, so he's in the process of writing a book right now. You can early buy the book too, and you can get sneak peeks at chapters. So it's not, I don't think it's quite finished yet, but you can certainly get. So it's cutting edge stuff. You get it as it's coming out. So it couldn't be any more cutting edge. So and he definitely knows what he's talking about.
Okay.
He's a Microsoft MVP, so you're getting it like straight from a guy who's been using it for a long time.
And just one note, if you want to get your question answered, I know we're running up on the hour here. There's a lot of them coming in. So like if you want to get us a question, just super chat us if you got something important that you think we can add value to. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So
and I guarantee that I'll get to those ones too before the topic. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just going down the list.
Yep.
So Mohammed's question: how do I balance learning stuff from books and other sources and actually learning from projects and experience? Do I make projects to uncover what I don't know, then learn it visually?
I think you take a tutorial, whether it be in a book or some other source, and then you build a project from the stuff you learned in that tutorial, and that project will uncover what you don't know for sure. And then you'll Google the rest or learn the rest, and then as you're trying to make your project to completion. So projects are the best teacher. I can't stress that enough. Now, it's hard to build a project without any learning, so you need to learn some stuff from some books to get at least a framework around like how does this stuff actually work, and then try to build a brand new project. You're on a lot more.
But the building of it like solidifies your learning, and as you said, identifies like those parts where you maybe didn't quite get it, where you have a learning.
Yeah, let's say like our last guy that built a GUI to solve a problem for moderating content. So that's kind of cool. Oh, coding after 30. Thanks, man.
The GUI's more tactical.
That's probably me. If you saw me in person, you're saying he's ate some tacos. So.
I haven't had tacos in a while. I haven't had I might not have had tacos it's been a minute. Pandemic, man. So yeah, not me at the minute.
I've had some tacos.
Okay. So. I haven't had too many tacos recently, so we're going with Bobby at the minute.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks a lot, man. He's at the top of the leaderboard, so that he's at the top now. So thanks, Jim.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the super chat.
So at least our update worked on the right there, so that's kind of.
It did, yeah. Which I did need to check, yeah. If anybody wants to become a channel member, test that too. I want to see if that works. Let's see. Quicks has a question. Quicks is still up there, look in the super chat too. He's the last one on there.
Yeah.
So what's the most? This is going to be an interesting question. You probably can't do this for recall. The most obscure .NET feature class method that you find extremely useful but rarely anyone uses.
I don't know that one, man. What I might consider obscure may be like something one uses every day.
Like mainstream.
The .NET framework is like super wide and super deep. You'll never memorize it all. So I don't have a good answer to that one, Quicks. I'm sorry.
I've seen the way that you work with these things. You just kind of you don't tend to remember all the stuff. You'll be like, oh, you got this problem and it's right in front of you. You'll be like, oh yeah, and you'll kind of remember the thing that comes along to it. Like, oh yeah, that's how I do that, I do that, I do that. And it's like, I've seen you piece stuff together. You don't tend to be like, oh yeah, I know this tool, and it's like, I remember when I do this project, I'm going to use this tool, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but one thing that I find useful that's maybe underrated is string interpolation inside of C#. It's kind of cool. So check it out. String builder and those kind of things. So strings are immutable. If you're adding things to a string, you need to use one of those techniques to make your code more performant instead of making a new copy of a string every time. So I see that quite a bit.
I do remember seeing something about that before. Yeah, because it doesn't use a lot of, when you recreate string, use a lot of memory, right, or something? Wasn't that the...
It makes a new one.
Okay.
So if it's in a loop, it makes a new one every time. So So
that's where the string builder thing comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Maximilian, thank you for joining us and thank you for the question. This is a great question. This is a common thing that we misconception.
Yeah.
Are new products being built with .NET, or is it mostly legacy code?
Every stinking day, man. People are building stuff with .NET, man. It's from Microsoft. I mean, it is being pushed into the enterprise. They are constantly innovating. This thing is now on a release schedule of every 12 months, which means .NET 6 will come out sometime in November. They're constantly innovating. They're constantly pushing this out. It's backed by Microsoft. It's not just legacy, man. People are writing new stuff all the time with .NET. I mean, and when you say .NET, that's a big, broad thing. So let's just talk about desktop. It's still the primary way desktop apps are being built. So .NET, C# is WPF. It is WinForms. That's kind of where it's going. It's primary too. So he loves tacos too. I love tacos. So anyway, so I think that's thanks, Paul.
Okay. Fury Papa wants to know PL SQL is enough to get a job.
Ooh. If you're going to be a database admin, yeah, I mean, like, so yeah, SQL's enough.
But you probably need to know a little bit more than that too, though, right? Even if you're going to be a database admin, you need to know a little bit about the database, other than just SQL.
So like, no, you can know like, so yeah, you'll know like how they're administrated, but like mainly that's through the tooling. But you're going to have to definitely know Mike Lee. Thanks, Mike. How you doing,
Mike,
man?
Thank you. We'll get to your question.
Thank you. We'll get to that in just a second.
Promise.
So, but like definitely database admin, SQL developer. Those are kind of jobs out there that are just purely SQL, and you can get a job doing that. They pay just like any other development job. So writing store procedures, knowing about indexing, knowing how to make sure that the SQL's running well enough, knowing how to do backups, that kind of stuff. The admin stuff is important too as well. So, but yes, you can get a job doing that.
Actually, I know there's some jobs at banks. So my wife works in the banking industry. I know there's people who work on reporting in banks that just write SQL.
Yep.
They're just
and they're using a reporting package. Something.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
That's definitely a thing. Yeah. So Mike, thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Mike's question is, curious if you have plans to put together a self-paced set of courses for C# and .NET.
Yes, a troll? I'm doing it.
Mike, is this a troll? Are you like trolling us?
I'm doing it. I'm working on it.
Hold on. I don't recognize Mike's name, so I don't think it's a troll. I think he genuinely wants to know the question this. We're working on it, Mike, I promise.
We are working on it right now. We are it's ambitious. We didn't want to make something that's just like a course on C#. There's a lot of those that's just like one little course. We're working on a complete self-paced curriculum. So that's why it's taking us longer. It's not one course. It's more like 30. So we're working on it. We're putting it out. Hopefully we'll get to it by the end of the month. We're hoping. I've got some guys working on it. So like we're hoping we get there. But it's got to be good when we release it because we don't want to have some kind of like crappy course. We want to make a good one.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the taco
yes,
money.
Thank you for the super chat. We super
Yeah. Yeah.
Savage. The question: mobile dev versus web dev.
I think you pick one you want to do. I think there's more stuff still in web dev right now. Then when you lean into things like PWAs, it is native going to be around forever, probably. So both of them have a good marketplace. I just think web dev's a little bit larger. But hey, man, if you really dig writing mobile apps, there's jobs out there for writing mobile devs. You know, especially if you're on Android, you could probably get a job at Clubhouse. Just saying, they should have an Android app. So, they don't have one.
Pitch it to them. Build it.
Yeah.
Like, here you go.
So,
straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay, Iro.
All right, cool. We're going up top of the hour. Yeah.
Yep, we're coming up. We got a few more here. So, Iro is a third-year CS student. Started to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Did a first demo e-commerce website. It's almost done. Friend suggested .NET. Should I focus on .NET, learn .NET, or focus on the front-end frameworks first?
So you have to know, if you're building websites, you've got to know the front-end stuff. But the .NET C# is going to run on your server side. So if you're doing server-side processing of those orders, you have to have some kind of server-side framework. So it sounds like you've already done a lot of the framework, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you can probably tack on C#. So I think so. Yeah. Someone just became a member, Kevin. Check that out. A little star on there. Look at that.
Okay, interesting. I didn't realize that was... Okay, that's not meant even to be on there. Sorry, but Diane, thank you so much for doing that. That was not
Captain America shield.
Okay. That was not planned. I've been messing around with Stream Elements, and I was like, oh, I want to see. I was testing it, and apparently I left it turned on. So, and it looked terrible on the screen. Sorry for it looking terrible, Diane. But thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I'm gonna fix that for next time when it's actually gonna look good. But yes, thank you so much. Look, it worked. It worked. Look, it's that's what I was gonna work. But it did work. It added Diane to the list here too. So thank you so much.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. What have we got? We've got time for a couple more here.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just going up these up the list.
Yeah.
Zahir wants to know, I am a C++ developer trying to learn C# for desktop development, but I have a question about Microsoft Fluent UI. Can you use it with C++? Also, what you think about Flutter for Windows?
I'm a big fan of Flutter for Windows, and I'll have to look into more specific about Fluent UI. I'm not exactly up to date on that one. So I'd have to just look into that to see kind of if you can use it C++. I'm not sure. But I know that C# is the primary language that you're going to use to build desktop. Unless you have some kind of engineering application, then maybe C++ is warranted for that. So like if you're doing something low level, you may be in C++, but you're still going to probably build that GUI in C# with either WPF or WinForms. But I wouldn't, if I had a choice, I'm definitely not doing Flutter for Windows. I'm doing C# for desktop development. That is the first class citizen on the planet. It's going to be the best one to choose. All right, cool. Hopefully that helps here.
This is funny. Oh my God, I thought someone said $499. Alex, what do you mean? You don't think we're worth $499? Like, why were you shocked?
Yeah.
Why is there an OMG in front of that? Like, you're supposed to. Yeah, there should be no OMG there. That's not shocking. If anybody wants to send $499, it's okay.
We'll send you cupcakes from All Things Yummy.
If somebody sends us $499, we'll send you something back for sure. That's not you want to. Yeah.
Some cupcakes.
Let me see here. What's next? Aravind, thank you for the question. Says, I'm in a support project for 2.5 years, starting with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Could I land a job in development job starting now? If yes, how many months or years would it take? Yeah. So you've been doing support for 2.5 years. So it seems like you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript already. It's a job transition, is my guess.
So I don't know, man. I think the transition, if you're self-learning, you need to plan 9 months to a year. If you're learning on your own, if you're going to a boot camp or to college, then college may not get there faster, but you may be easier to learn. Boot camp will get you there faster, but I just think that it's going to take a year or so of self-study, I think. But make sure all the things that you're doing lead to project work. So all your studies, build something. The quicker you can build it, the faster you'll get there. You can't just copy tutorials, put it on your portfolio, and expect to land a dev job, because they're going to ask you questions. And if you don't know how to answer those questions, it'll be hard to win an interview. But if you can build a project on your own, then you know how it's put together, then it's easier to take that project and turn it into an interview thing that you can demo and get a job with. So I hope that helps. Okay, last one, Kevin.
Just a quick hey from Egypt. Ahmed, thank you very much
for joining us all over the world today. Thank you, man. Thanks a lot.
Global
Thanks for joining
today.
us from Global CF.
We're global. Okay, I'm going to do one last one here. Okay. And again, I'm just going to go in order. Jabril wants to know, hey, I'm actually work on a WordPress project, and I wanted to know if I can create forms and manipulate the data and do some algorithm with it.
Sure can. PHP, man.
Yeah, but you do have to know PHP, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably some form plugins for WordPress too, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I would probably look, if you're not comfortable with PHP, look for a form plugin. I don't know what the most popular one is on WordPress, but I guarantee you there's a popular one.
Right.
It's too big of an ecosystem.
And then you would have like a form processor that you could process the form on the back end with it. So you definitely can do that. Yep. For sure.
Okay. Yes, look, international show. Right, cool. I know.
With tacos.
Everyone's here today. One last thing here. Look, Robin Singh says tomorrow he has 2 interviews with the US and Singapore startups for full stack dev. He's a self-taught dev. I don't know what coding.
Good luck, Robin.
That's awesome. Good luck. Yeah, that's awesome.
Win it, man. Good luck. Hopefully that'll work out for you. Come back and tell us if you get a job. That's awesome.
Yep, we love to hear. Definitely love to hear. So we'll be back on Thursday. We're going to go make another video now. So we're going to go do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll probably push that out. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I got to cut another video. And then we'll be back on Thursday with another live. We do have one of you guys coming in Thursday.
Yeah, we got a guest coming on the show. Ben Patton.
going to come on Thursday and tell us about his journey.
All right. Special thanks to Diane Jones for becoming a channel member, Mike Lee for giving that super chat, and as always, Paul, Coding After 30, thank you for the lunch today. We're going to eat some tacos right after I record a video. But anyway, I hope this helps. Good luck, guys, and keep coding. We'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.